Welcome back, everybody. Recapping stage 20 on my YouTube channel. I am your host, Patrick Ramirez, stand-up comedian, lifelong cyclist. This is my YouTube channel, talking Tour de France. It's almost over. I can't believe it. Stage 20 was today, won by Kaden Groves of Alpecin on a rainy day. So let's discuss all the finer points like we have for every single stage of the race. And it all wraps up tomorrow. It's been a great tour. It's been a long tour. I'm always ready for the tour to end right when it does. If you ever say, we should make the tour 2 weeks, I'll be, no way, it's not enough. He's like, we should make the tour 4 weeks. I'm like, I can't handle 4 weeks. I just can't. 3 weeks is perfect amount of time, just enough to really invest in the race, invest in the riders. It's a extremely hard challenge from a physical sense. It's extremely hard challenge from just a logistical sense of putting on this race. Hey, the Olympics, everybody lasts like a couple of weeks. The tour's 3 weeks, and it's moving all around. So let's talk about stage 20, and let's start off like we do every single day with headlines of the stage. First headline of the stage is Kaden Groves, a sprinter, wins solo today. What an effort, and what a surprising effort too, because if you were to tell me a sprinter is going to win a stage, you'd be like, solo. You'd be like, what? How? And the how of it is definitely worth discussing. But if we talk about just what led up to the winning move, we had a breakaway go up the road today. It was raining. It was a little messy. The breakaway was changing its makeup many times. Henry Sweeney really kicked it off with a couple of hard efforts to get it going, and then attacked his own breakaway companion for a while. But then some more riders came. It was just a lot of changing of groups and compositions of the breakaway riders today. So we come into a group of about, it seemed like it was about 8 people, maybe 9, coming around a right-hand bender, and then we have a big crash. We have a slide out from one rider, then another rider reacts, he slides out, another rider kind of hits the brakes and comes to a slow stop, and essentially the breakaway is reformed because of this crash. And we have a breakaway of 3 riders. One of them is Kaden Groves, and at some point, he just rolls off the front and maintains the gap and comes in for the win. I don't know how exactly that happened, what the strategy was, or we can just say, hey, you weren't paying attention. Why are you letting guys roll off the front? But he gets the win. Huge win for him. Huge win for Alpecin as well, who's having a dream tour despite losing their 2 best riders. Jasper Philipsen, like on stage 2. Mathieu van der Poel got pneumonia a couple days ago. And look at them. They're still winning stages. They're still competing at the highest level. Tremendous win and a tremendous tour overall for Alpecin Phoenix, a team that has no GC rider, had a sprinter, has the Classics rider in Van der Poel, and that's it. They both went out of the race, and they still get a win today on stage 20. Great win. I don't think anybody saw Kaden Groves come through the finish line and not want to give that man some applause. Next headline, we got rain causes crashes. And yes, it did. Not only did it cause the crash that formed the breakaway, the winning breakaway today, how about that little crash at the end of the main GC group coming through the finish line? People are tired. The finish line is in sight. People are probably joking around a little bit more in the peloton. You know, think of it like, remember the last week of school? Like, no work is getting done. People are jacking around, coming in late, untucking shirts, and your defenses are now down. This is the time where you miss something. So that's what I think happened today. Crashes in the rain played a role today. Ironically, though, it didn't really curb the racing. Guys were still racing all out despite the rain and the danger of it, but it was a tricky one today. A couple crashes. And luckily, no one from the GC group came down to that last one to the finish line for the Tade group. And last headline of the day, and that is nerves about tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last day of the stage 21. but it is no procession like it was in years past with the procession around the Champs-Élysées for a flat sprint. This is the Olympic course from the road race last summer, and it's, from all reports, there's category 4 climbs, there's an intermediate sprint. These are narrow roads. I don't know about road surface and stuff like that, but this is more of like a classics day than the traditional ride around the Champs-Élysées with champagne in your hand and pose for pictures. And what we would see, say this was last year's stage on the Champs-Élysées, we would see Geraint Thomas getting a nice send-off because it's his last race of his career. He's retiring after this. But tomorrow's stage is not like that. So we don't know what exactly we're going to see tomorrow. Weather becomes an issue. Teams that have not gotten any wins this whole tour, I guess, would be going for the breakaway. Is that what we're going to see? It's just a traditional road race type of stage tomorrow, even though this is the stage where you just sort of like ride around and pose for pictures and shake hands and just you race a little bit at the end. So a lot of nerves about tomorrow. What exactly is going to happen tomorrow? How's it going to be raced? Is there going to be some sort of neutralization if we have bad weather of the course? It's possible. So those are my headlines of the day. So let's move on because we got the USA Report next. Now, all 5 USA riders looks like they're going to finish this race, and that's really, really great. Jorgensen today was our top finisher, finishing 9th. Neilson Powless, 27th. Sepp Kuss, 99th. Quinn Simmons, 107th. And Will Barta, 108th. Everybody's in the race, and that leads us up to a very crucial tomorrow stage. And most likely, I'm thinking Quinn Simmons. He's been in, 60% of all the breakaways. Somehow he wasn't in today's. I don't know why. But he's got one last shot tomorrow if it's a day that they're going to race proper. He's got to look for the breakaway, and so does a lot of other people. But he's proven he can get in these breakaways, and tomorrow could be his last chance. Other than that, you got to be proud that all the USA riders are in this race. It is quite the feat that none of them got sick, crashed, got time cut. Did anybody get time cut this whole race this year? I don't think so. So we're going to finish all 5. I hope they do a little USA picture on the finish line, get all the USA riders together and get a shot in. By and large, USA's done really, really great. Jorgensen has been a key player in the Jonas ride to second place. And if we go down the list, Neilson Powless has been active. Sepp Kuss has been a helper. Quinn Simmons, we all know about him. Will Barta has just been in this race. He got in that one breakaway. So overall, you got to be happy with that. Winners and losers for stage 20. Let's go winners to start. Winners, Alpecin. We spoke about it a little bit already at the beginning of the show, but here they are without their sprinter. They're without their best rider. And they win another stage. So they had Jasper Philipsen win stage 1, wear the jersey. He crashes out. Then we have Mathieu van der Poel win a stage. He's in the jersey. He gets some breakaways, all that stuff. Then we have today, Caden Groves gets the big win today. Like, don't even forget that one dude who was in the breakaway with Van der Poel, his own teammate. Give that guy like half a win because he did some good work too. So Alpecin Phoenix is a big winner today. Other winner, I'm going to give it to the collective riders as a group today for not calling the officials and just complaining and saying like, we have to neutralize this stage. It's too much rain. No, that might be a thing of the past where riders kind of say, we're not racing. These guys race all the time. So I give it to them for them saying like, no, we're here to race and we don't care if it's raining. We're going to race. And I'm thinking that might be a possibility tomorrow with weather. If we have bad enough weather on a tight enough course where the riders collectively say like, well, let's take the time at the start of the circuits and no time gaps at the end. That could happen. It's going to take the heads of state to say it, though. And that means Pogačar and that means Jonas. I don't think anyone else has say in the group besides those two. And realistically, it's just Tadej. So kudos to the riders today for racing hard in the rain. Moving on to losers of the race here. First loser of the race. How about just the harsh reality of the tour? Like, we had 2 crashes today. Imagine if you got all the way to stage 20 of the tour and you crashed out, which almost happened today. You're like, we made it through all the tough stuff and I slide out because of rain and I'm out of the tour with 1 day to go. The one guy who crashed into the curb was really, really ripped up. And it was a little touch and go at first, whether he was going to remount. Luckily, he did. And then the guy behind him who crashed, the FDJ guy, he got up pretty quick. He was just torn up a little bit. I think got back in the break, actually. And then at the finish line, the crash from the GC group, I think it was a Cofidis guy who was on the ground a long time, eventually got up, eventually finished. But I thought there was a chance that he wasn't going to finish because he was sitting there a long time. So Cofidis, if we talk about Alpecin, how about the opposite? Cofidis has been inconsistent, not around at all, no stage wins, no threats. The biggest thing they did in this whole race was crash out Jasper Philipsen, and that was it. So they got one last shot tomorrow, along with some other teams. Harsh reality tour loser. Also, how about Van der Poel? One day you're winning stages, you're wearing the yellow jersey, you're going to breaks. Next day you have pneumonia, you're out of the race. It can hit anybody. So everybody that starts tomorrow, I hope finishes. Next loser of the stage. How about crying at the finish line? I never like this. I'm a little over this. Caden Groves comes through the finish line, starts crying. And I just don't think it's a good look. It looks a little strange. But I will give the Peacock broadcast a little bit of credit because he's crying and people are patting him on the shoulder, saying things to him, some in English, some not. And give Phil Liggett and Barbara a little credit for just staying silent and letting the moment play out. Because so many times announcers ruin it when a camera's right in their face and there's talking on it, and all they're doing is talking over the things we want to be hearing. So they stayed silent. Just a real, if you're an old school football fan, a real John Madden, Pat Summerall move. We're just let the moment sit. Let's watch it. Don't talk over it. But losers, how about crying? No crying on the finish line. Act like you've been there. That's always weirds me out. They're crying through their sunglasses and people are trying to console them, but they're happy. Don't like crying on the finish line, but good job by Peacock. All right, moving on. We've got the Media GC for viewership from yesterday's broadcast from The Move, the Lanterne Rouge, and the Butterfly Effect. So, what are the numbers? The Move got 48,000 views for the show yesterday. Lanterne Rouge got 21K from yesterday, and the Butterfly Effect 35K. So the Move really put some time into their rivals from yesterday's broadcast. How about Lanterne Rouge only getting 21K, and the Move over 10K over the Butterfly Effect? That's probably the biggest gap of the season. I think people are tired. We've watched the tour. We kind of know what are we going to learn from these videos at this point? So I think that's got to have something to do with the viewership being down. Although the Move at 48K is below its, usual 50K mark. So the belt goes to the Move. Be interesting to see who takes home the belt tomorrow, the last stage of the tour. I got one more winner maybe I should throw in. Let me back up a little bit. And it's gonna deal with tomorrow. So the women's tour started today. I gotta be honest, I thought it was starting tomorrow. But it started today. So they have a stage tomorrow. The tour stage for the men's tomorrow is a little later in the afternoon. So I think we're gonna be able to watch the women's stage And then right after the men's stage. How cool is that we can see 2 rounds of racing not happening right within each other, just flip on over to another set of racing. Kind of like in the classics where like the women's race finishes a little ahead of the men's, so you just sort of switch over and watch it. But this is their own race. Women's race, watch it all. Men's race, watch it all. Forgot to add that to my winners of the stage. So last stage of the tour tomorrow, stage 21. Let's take a look at it. It is 132 kilometers. It's got some Cat 4 climbs. There's even an intermediate sprint in there. So we're totally in uncharted waters right now. And back to the tour organizers for putting on a great race. Here's a great end of the race where you have to finish this race. You have to constantly race to the end. No parade laps, no champagne, no posing for pictures, no doing silly stuff. A race is a race. So 132 kilometers with a lot of Cat 4s. It's the Olympic road race course from last year, which Remco won. So this is a curious day for breakaways primarily because I know the GC guys are just keep it together. No need to race aggressively, but breakaway riders haven't won a stage. That's something different. Protect yourself at all times. This is a fight. I have a feeling we're going to see breakaways tomorrow. The way this whole race is gone, why are they going to lay down arms now? Quinn Simmons isn't laying down arms. Some of these guys from last year in the Olympics are like, hey, I remember this course. I can race this course. It's the last stage of the tour. What are we doing? Just cruising around with no hands on the bars? So I have a feeling tomorrow's going to be a real race. We will find out as the tour concludes. Last little bit, I watched a few of Tadej interviews and stuff just to garner his mindset, his perspective, his point of view. It seems like the Vuelta is up in the air. He is not decided. Seems like he is tired at moments, has fought really hard for this tour, even though it didn't seem like anybody realistically had the potential of dethroning him. But he fought hard, and he was very honest about how he was saddened that his teammate Almeida had to withdraw from the race because of his crash. He was very happy for his teammate Tim Wellens when he won, and that this tour would be a very different thing if it wasn't for his team. And this is Tadej's 4th tour. So like with any other dynasty or dominant force or player or rider, I wonder if we're going to see some anti-Tadej talk come the rest of this year. You know, kind of like how, remember, everybody kind of hated the Bulls after a while. They hated the Patriots after a while because they were just so dominant. And I wonder if we get that with Tadej. We got it with Lance over the years, of course. Contador, of course. It's only natural. It's like a human instinct to hate who is dominant. And I would say Tadej is very well liked right now by the media. I wonder how this offseason will go for him. 4th tour. And if we're just sort of going for the record, I think he's 26, maybe 27. Say he wants to go for the all-time record of 7 tours, maybe 8. Not impossible. Not hard to wrap your head around that he could go for that and he could do that. How about youth in the tour too? Because it was not long ago that we used to say, like, if you're a rider, you kind of hit your peak in that late 20s where your body is adapted to the workload and the intensity. And how about throw that out the window? It's all young riders now. The battle for the white jersey is essentially the battle for a yellow jersey now. So how about young riders? The sport has changed. Who's an older rider that's in the mix right now? Roglic? He's not really in the mix. He's an older rider. Lipowitz, young jersey. Jonas, young. Tadej, young. Who else? Oscar Only, young. It's a young man's sport, everybody, which is a signal of it shifting and may piss off older riders. Well, all right, we got one more stage to go tomorrow. Let's hope it's a great race with no crashes, nothing unusual. No more protesters running that course either. And we get one more shot for the USA. Like, if you're a USA fan, if you're watching the tour and you're cheering for the USA riders, like, this is our day. This is our last day tomorrow. Just imagine if we can get a break with Simmons, Powless, and Will Barta, and Jorgensen and Kuzar protecting Jonas in the back. Understandable. What if we get those three in a break and they can duke it out? That's what I want to see for stage 21. I hope you do too. So I want to thank you if you've made it this far into the video. Hey, how about this? If you made it this far into the video, comment on it. Say, I am still here. And I'm going to give you a special shout out. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. All my stand-up comedy is up there. This very show, the recap series, is up there. My movie series, not to mention all my long-form interviews as well. And new stuff's going up there all the time. For me, Patrick Ramirez, for the Tour de France for stage 20, this has been the Running It Back recap show. One more stage to go, stage 21. See you there. It's the end of the tour.